People principle number 21, the high road principle. The high road principle basically says we go to a higher level when we treat others better than they treat us. Or Henry Ward Beecher, who said, keep a fair-sized cemetery in your backyard in which you bury the faults of your friends. The question I must ask myself, do I treat others better than they treat me? Someday I may write a book on this. It's a principle, just a principle that I want to teach for a moment now. But I have seen this lived so well by my father. My dad was a very good leader and college president for 17 years, but always kind of out front. And I can remember, especially in his college years, there were some college board members, a couple, that were just a hassle. They were just a pain. They just lived for board meetings. Anybody that lives for board meetings should not be allowed to be in board meetings. What it means is those people do nothing else. Worthless. And my dad had a couple of these people that were just a pure pain. And I watched him. I watched him be kind to them. I watched him care for them. And as a young leader, I wanted to go in and do some battle. It just ticked me off. But as I now have grown older myself, one of the greatest deposits my father left me, you talk about a legacy that is imprinted on my soul, this incredible principle of the high road. Perhaps of all the principles I teach relationally, this is the most dear to my heart. So for a couple minutes, I want to do a good job teaching it. You see, there are three roads that we can travel in our relationship with others. The low road, where we treat others worse than they treat us. The middle road, where we treat others the same as they treat us. Or the high road, where we treat others better than they treat us. Stay right with me. The low road damages relationships and alienates others from us. The middle road may not drive people away from us, but it won't attract them to us either. It is reactive rather than proactive and allows others to set the agenda for our lives. The high road helps to create positive relationships and attracts others to us. It sets a positive agenda with others that even negative people find difficult to undermine. High road travelers. The high road truly is the path less traveled. I say that because taking the high road requires thinking and acting in ways that are not natural or common. However, those who practice the high road principle become instruments of grace to others and recipients of grace for themselves. And I've observed that these high roaders have several things in common. Number one, high roaders understand that it's not what happens to you, but what happens in you that really matters. David Brinkley observed, a successful man is one who can lay a foundation with the bricks that others have thrown at him. Number two, high roaders commit themselves to traveling the high road continually. Nearly anyone can be kind in the face of unkindness every once in a while. It's more difficult to sustain a high road attitude all the time. My friend Hector Lamarck remarked one time to me, most people make some good choices every day, but they don't make enough good choices to create momentum and obtain success. That is a powerful statement. That's a good insight on what happens for people who take the high road all the time. They create momentum. They also cultivate relational success. Why? Because responding best today puts them in the best place tomorrow. Number three, high roaders see their own need for grace, and therefore they extend it to others. I once saw a sign that read, "To err is human, to forgive is not company policy." It's funny, but it also hints at people's natural inclination not to give individuals a break when they act in a way that shows their human frailty. Let's face it, we're all human and make mistakes. People who take the high road recognize their humanness, know that they need to be extended grace, and are accordingly more likely to extend it to others. Number 4, high roaders are not victims. They choose to serve others. Wow. They're not victims. They're not taking high road because they couldn't take low road. They choose this journey. I love the story of a grandmother who was at a bridal shower for all the young women, and so the young girls, they got around, Grandma, and asked her what the success of her long marriage was to her husband. And she said something. She said, I decided before we got married to make a list of 10 of my husband's faults. And then I said, for the sake of the marriage, I took that list and I said, I will overlook those faults. And she said every time that he would do something that was on that list, I would say, lucky for him. That's on the list. And she said, I have found the secret of a successful marriage is taking the high road. I believe that with all my heart. I believe no relationship can be sustained without at least one of the two people taking major high road most of the time. Number 5, high roaders set a higher standard for themselves than others would. People who embrace the high road make excellence their goal. That's something that can be accomplished if we care more than others think is wise, and risk more than others think is safe, and dream more than others think is practical, and expect more than others think is possible, and work more than others think is necessary. And high roaders, they bring out the best in others. Again, Goethe advised, treat people as though they were what they ought to be, and you will help them become what they are capable of becoming. Number 7, high roaders bring out the best in themselves. Read this paragraph with me. Just look at it. This is amazing. Making it your practice to always treat others the best that you can affects the way you see the world and yourself. President Abraham Lincoln said, die when I may, I want it said of me by those who knew me best that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. That is what the high road principle does to a person's heart over the course of time. It plants flowers where thorny weeds once thrived. If you need a little help moving to the high road, then follow these directions. Number 1, stay on Kindness Street as long as possible. Turn on Forgiveness Avenue. Avoid Get Even Alley because it is a dead end. Climb to the top of the hill, for there you will see the high road, and take it and stay on it. And if you lose your way, ask God for help. The high road isn't often not the easiest road, but it is the only one that leads to the highest level of living.